I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. You may know that I host a podcast with Michael Cohen called the Political Beatdown. I want to share this incredible moment from Political Beatdown where Michael Cohen just went off on Donald Trump. So Michael Cohen, take it away.
I mean, think of that fat orange face with the cotton candy sweet, flip, flap, flop, as I like to have called it in my first book. Think about him sitting there and going, it's the China virus. All right, the China virus. China. And everybody thinks it's funny. By the way, the president is not supposed to be a comedian. Funny as shit is the fact that the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, is actually a comedian who's acting like a president. Here in America, we had a president who thought he was going to act like a fucking comedian, but he's just not funny. There's nothing funny about a virus that could wipe out a million people like that.
I think Michael Cohen just completely nails it there. And here's Michael Cohen basically saying, look, all of the times that Donald Trump screwed up and damaged our country, did he ever once take accountability for it? I don't think so. Play the clip.
Name one specific time that Donald Trump acknowledged that he made a mistake, that he did something wrong. And the answer is you can't. I know for a fact because, again, I was with him for more than a decade before he ever decided to join into this political arena. Donald Trump is incapable of acknowledging error. Do we not remember when that moron Mike Pence got up onto the stage? I think it was at CPAC, another fucking joke of a organization, right? CPAC, he's standing there and he's saying that he has facts and information from the president that says that this is just like a flu and that everybody should go back to work. He's got this under control. It will be gone before the end of the week. Well, really? After 1 million people, 1 million Americans died? Think about that for a second when you think about people sitting at the dinner table and missing somebody at that table. Right? Think about, at family functions when an aunt, an uncle, a mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend is not going to be there. Why? Because Donald Trump does not acknowledge that science exists. He does not acknowledge that this coronavirus was as serious, and he tried to whitewash it. And this is not my words. And Salty, if you could find it. Do you remember when Donald Trump turned around and said to the American people that he did not want Americans to get nervous? He didn't want to scare them. And so he downplayed the coronavirus. The fact that he did something like that, to me, should have been an automatic impeachment. This is the president of the United States, a man who was elected, right? Whether you voted for him or not, he was elected president to serve the American people. And he's afraid to tell you the truth because he doesn't want it to cause some sort of pandemonium. That's not even the truth either. The bottom line is that this fucking moron refused to listen to people like Dr. Anthony Fauci. He refused to listen to anybody other than the people that were feeding him the same stupidity and the same false misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation that he wanted to speak so that he could then what? Hope that maybe it disappears on its own and then he could be, the winner. I mean, it's like Munchausen by proxy. That's really what it is. He expected this thing would go away like a flu would go. I mean, do we not remember this idiot said, hey, let's maybe inject chlorine or Lysol into people's lungs? Hey, and then he said, remember to Dr. Birx, he goes, what about using light therapy? I mean, I know that you've studied that really significantly, very strongly, because, he's got the best words. I know you did that very strongly, and people say that it's a possibility. I mean, what fucking episode of Star Trek does this idiot think he's living in? Enough is enough. And at the end of the day, he lied to the American people, all right, about what he should have known had he listened to the experts. But then again, he'll tell you he has an uncle who works at MIT, and I don't even know if that's true because I've actually asked Don and Eric whether they have an uncle that works, he didn't know who he was talking about, so that he has an uncle that works at MIT, which of course makes him smarter than everybody else. He knows more about the military than the generals. Have you not noticed that the man claims to know more about everything than everybody else, especially the experts? He knows more about religion than the clergy. He knows more about military than the generals. He knows more about science than the scientists. The guy is a fucking idiot. And the fact that we are even contemplating, the fact that there's even an American out there that's contemplating Donald Trump running again in 2024 and providing their support for him, whether it's as a vote or monetarily, really should scare the shit out of each and every one of us.
And here we got Michael Cohen then talking about how the real weaponization that took place of the Department of Justice and the government took place in the Trump administration against people like Michael Cohen. Play the clip.
But what about the weaponization of the Justice Department against people like myself by the former president? If you can't look back, how do you look forward? And today there was a nice exchange of words by Congressman Steve Cohen and by Jim Jordan. And I certainly recommend everybody, if you go to my Twitter page, you could find it there. I'm going to post it as well on my Instagram, so you could follow me there, or on my TikTok. This has to be a precedent. We must ensure that no president today, tomorrow, or ever has the ability to weaponize the Justice Department to do the things that Donald Trump has done, which is to incarcerate, to literally have me incarcerated because they did not want me to publish the first book, which was called Disloyal. So, I'm all fired up on this shit. I can't handle it anymore. I would love to see bipartisan. The fact that there aren't Republicans screaming like I am, like Congressman Cohen, like Congressman Raskin, like Congressman Eric Swalwell, like Congressman Lou and Hakeem Jeffries, and even Senator Dick Durbin. The fact that there aren't more people screaming from the rooftops that this is not acceptable behavior in America. This is not acceptable behavior by a president. I don't understand that.
Make sure you check out Political Beatdown wherever you get your audio podcast. Search Political Beatdown. Of course, subscribe right here on the MeidasTouch Network, as well as we march to 1 million subscribers in the month of March. So make sure you subscribe here. You can check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch as well. patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And you could also check us out at store.MeidasTouch.com for great MeidasTouch gear. Again, hit subscribe right now and search for the Political Beatdown podcast wherever you get your audio podcast. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network and the host of Political Beatdown with Michael Cohen.
The best part of waking up? MAGA tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA tears mug available now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.